Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new live session of Customily. As we are letting people in and reading some of your questions, the very first ones, we're going to play some music and wait just for 1 minute.
Yo, online store owners, listen up now. I'm about to drop some knowledge, show you how Customily, the best app in town. Let me tell you why, so you can win a crown. Then you can wear the crown. Personalization is the name of the game. Give your customers that personalized fame. Customized products so unique and cool. Spread the word, don't be a fool. With Customily, the store will stand out. The possibilities, there's no doubt. From t-shirts to mugs and everything in between, your customers will feel like a dream.
Okay, welcome everyone to this new live session of Customily, a very special live session because it's all about Q&A, all about exploring your questions and your doubts about the app or the best practices to do whatever you want to do. To really get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Josema. I'm going to be your host today, but I'm not alone. Here I'm with Cecilia and Ezequiel. They will be on the chat today, answering some questions and also throwing me some questions for the presentation. Okay, we're going to start right off with the Q&A, and I'm going to read some questions we have on the chat and get started with the presentation. Now, we open today with a question from Andrew, who gave us an introduction. There's a Customily library called Mother's Day Titles, and the text elements are images of text, right? So he wants to know how these are created, right? The file format, the size, the dimensions, and why we use these images of text, which could be instead of text boxes created within Customily. That's a great question. And well, what would be the best practices to creating libraries of multiple designs that will the same be maybe one or two elements with different from which the buyer may choose? Okay, there are two questions here. We're going to start with the first one. Let me show you what the Mother's Day titles actually looks like. So I'm going to the libraries. I'm pretty sure we have a copy of this in the image libraries. Let's make this a bit bigger. Yeah. Let's say Mother's Day titles. Okay, there you go. So Mother's Day titles, right? That's already imported. This is the one we have. If I go to edit, what I will see is these images, right? I can click here just to preview this. Oh, this is a category actually, and we have black and white. All right, so this is the white, this is the black. So if I go here, I see this image. Now, Andrew wants to know, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this with images and not text? And the reason is very simple. We actually want this to be a fixed message. It's a quote. So maybe you have a mug that will have on one side this quote or any other quote of the library, and on the other side you will have your customized character, your name, etc. So you can craft this in Customily, but the truth is you will have to craft, to be honest, 1, 2, 3. Wait, I'm not sharing screen. Okay, I'm sharing screen right now. Nobody told me that. Okay, right. So let me show you how I got this far. Let's say you create a product or you create a design. If you go to libraries, you will find on the image libraries, we'll call this Mother's Day titles, right? And you will find this here. So we click on edit. These categories will be black and white. So when I go into a category, it says here it's a category. I'm going to find the black and the white version. I can just click edit and just see this up front. So the question was, why not do this as texts in Customily? Well, basically because it's easier to do it somewhere else, right? And basically in Customily, you will have a lot of fixed texts that will, one will be cheers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the me and 10 with the 4, right? So you need 10 text elements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 text elements to create this element, this design. And at the same time, you need to go to the options set and you need to establish initial values for every one of these text elements and then hide the option. If you want to actually make this entirely customizable, that's what you need to do. But if you want this to be just part of a collection of pre-made quotes, quotes look nicer and amazing when you put them together like this, with different fonts, different styles and formats and sizes, right? And adding some small elements like the lines and the drinks, okay? And creating something like just for me with a different font. This is faster on any other software than Customily, because Customily is trying to put this text together so you can write whatever you want. So if you don't want to offer all these 8 text elements to be customizable and you just want to put some fixed value, I recommend going to a more specific program like, for example, Canva. So in Canva, it's very easy to go to text elements and start adding headings, right? Let's say, right, so cheers, right? Oops. It was, just give me 1 second. Cheers to the woman who gave up wine. Okay, so cheers, right? I'm going to, right, to the, right, again, we're going to do this. You see what I'm doing, right? So I'm crafting this really fast. Then I'm going to change this to the fonts that I want. And then I also can add at the very end, right? So I'm going to click this and go to effects, and I can curve this, right? So it's pretty fast and easy to craft a nice looking quote for your quote collection in Canva, for example, right? Could be Photoshop, could be Photopea. This is very fast and easy to create and to swap through fonts. When you're ready, all you have to do is go to share, go to download. If you have the chance to go transparent background, that will be a great idea, because sometimes these quotes can be on products that are not white in the background or in the print. Even so, if you put this as a white background, it's going to try to print the white sometimes on top of a less white product like a mug or a t-shirt. So transparent background will ensure that you will be only exporting the letters, and it will look like something like this. Okay, and you can put it on top of any product of any color. That's the way you can create this kind of quotes. Remember, if you create a design using this library, you can later come here and add your own quotes to the library, right? I mean, the size of this is usually available when you start editing your design, okay? Or you can just create something square. That's entirely up to you. Now, the best practices to putting together multiple designs, that's the other question. We can start with a design, for example, and, well, I don't know exactly what kind of multiple options you want to offer, but the truth is that if you want to offer a blank product that you can have multiple possibilities, what we did before was creating a template for each one of the designs. Now we are past that for a long time. We have been doing live sessions for over a year, and we have shown you, like, right now the best practice is to create layouts. So if I were to create a design that has a big text on the center, okay, this could be my first choice, and this could be like, okay, so text 1, okay? But if I want to offer the choice to one center text, two vertical text, or anything I want, I can create layouts in here. When I click on create layout, basically what I do is I create a group of elements, a group of texts, of images, or anything combined. A character, like a person that has skin color, hairstyle, eyes, t-shirt, pants, shoes, and a name, that could be one layout. That could be a part of one layout that includes other 5 characters. And then you have another layout with 4 characters, and another layout with 3 characters, and another layout with 2 characters, right? And so on, so on. So Customily basically what does is read this layout structure, this folder structure, and will create all the logic that involves conditioning everything to show or hide depending on your layout choice. So if I were to name this as central text, and then I want to add another text box that will be like this, but it will be on top, and I will have another one. Let's say I copy with Control-C, and I copy and paste. I'm going to put this in here. Okay, let's say I align everything. So this text and text 2, these 2 elements, will be another layout. So I select both of them, and I click create layout. When I have now 2 layouts, you see Customily is now controlling the visibility of either the central text or the 2 texts. When I click here, I show only this. When I click here, I only show this, right? And Customily will read this and craft a drop-down by default, but you can change it to a swatch. And whenever you click on one or the other choice, either central text or 2 text, is going to show the options and also show the elements just for one. So it simplifies the crafting of the options at the same time as organizes your design. And you can have multiple versions available in one single design. So that's how you optimize, and that will be the best practice of offering that in the first place. Okay, so let's jump to another question. I hope this covered this first question. Okay, well, Andrew, of course, give us your feedback about this answer. Okay, let's check out another question. I'm just starting with the app. There are no basic questions. That's okay. What's the difference between the print area and the print file, right? Okay, so print area and print file. That's very actually a great question. Let me show you with an example of product base and also Customily. Right, so let me share my screen again. Okay, let's jump off to the start, okay? And basically, print file is whatever goes to fulfillment, okay? So if you are creating a t-shirt that prints on the front, you will have, that will be your print file, okay? Your print file is going to be the front of the t-shirt. Now, if you're also printing on the back or on the side, on the sleeves, for example, depending on the print-on-demand provider, they are going to ask most likely for different files, one for each of the places you want to print. So in that case, you're working with multiple print files. How do we do that? Let's say we are going to create a product base. Let's say we have a t-shirt product, or we have, let's go with creating a product base, and we're going to have a t-shirt product. Now, this t-shirt product will have front and back, okay? So what we do is this. Our provider, we're not working with common PODs. We're working with our own print-on-demand provider, our own workshop, our own supplier. So we are crafting our own product bases. We are going to be creating this. Okay, we're going to create this. So we know that our if we go to inches, usually our prints on top are 12 by 12. Okay, so we're going to create this. This is going to be the front. Right. So what do we know about the print file? That it's going to be 12 by 12 inches, and it's going to print on the front, right? And we have a maximum print area. What's the important thing to understand this? A print area, and this is the main concept, a print area will hold a design when you merge into a new listing, right? So if you actually create a second print area, let's say we have a print area that is going to be 152.4, right? So let's say our front of the t-shirt is going to be made of two designs. Why? Because we want a design to be I don't know, maybe AI. I want the other design to be a particular text conjunction. Okay, but you can mix them up. So you don't want them to be on the same design. You want to craft this by having two designs available in one single print. So you have two print areas. The first print area will be this one, and then you can add another print area for the second design. Okay, like this. So I'm going to back to canvas and do the same, 152.4. Okay, just like that. We are still creating a single print file, okay? But we are creating that print file with two different designs. So whenever you create a new product, what's going to happen is Customily will ask you for two designs, one for print area 1, one for print area 2. But it's going to end up creating one single print file in your order, okay? That's the important thing. On the other side, on the other hand, let's say we have a single print area, yeah, but we need both prints independently. We need the front and the back. In that case, instead of creating multiple print areas, which will be on the same print file, we're going to create here, next to the resize button, we're going to create a second print file, right? It's important to know that now we have this available in Shopify, Etsy, WooCommerce, okay? So you can discard this method if you are working with these platforms. It's a very important notice. It's going to be the back is going to be different. The back is going to be, let's say, a bit bigger, just to make something different. Okay, and now we have a second print file with a second print area. Again, we are going to be asked to choose two designs, but one will be on the front and the other will be on the back. And on your order, you're going to have two links, one to download the file number 1 and another to download the file number 2. That's the main difference, right? So it's the way your supplier or even your POD works, how they need the files. After you finish with this, you can jump to the next part of the of the product base and add a product image. I'm going to add a product image that is I had this in here, this one. Okay, so this is my product, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the front, this one, is presented, okay, and the back, okay, this is the back. So I'm going to put this on the back like this, and the front will be here. This is a zip-up jacket, so it's not the best example, but let's imagine we are going to be printing in here. Okay, you're going to get two print files, two PDFs or two PNGs, independent, with independent links. You will see them together in the preview, of course, and you're going to pick a design for each one of these print areas. Now, in which cases are we working with one print file and two print areas, meaning one unique PDF, for example, but two different designs? A good example are the mugs. Mugs, print in a wraparound, so it's a single file, but they are composed of two designs. So there's a single file that is landscape related, usually 4 by 8 or in inches, right? And you have two print areas. One print area will have the design of the left, and the other print area will have the design on the right. In which cases do we need two print files, two independent files that will go to independent machines or independent processes of the fulfillment? For example, in the front and back of a garment, of a clothing, also on well, it could be I'm running out of examples now, but imagine any product that needs multiple printing. For example, a box. Sometimes boxes could be a single file because they are flat, but sometimes they have just two systems. One will print on the top and the other will print on the side. So you need two different files, right? So that will be the two case scenarios in which you're going to be using different, either multiple files or multiple print areas. But the main difference is the outcome, how many designs you want, and the outcome file or files. Okay, let's check out the next question. How do I see a preview of my product while editing it? Well, at the moment, basically when you finish with a product, when you create a new product, you get to see that and see how it performs. Let's create something together, right? Let's go with I think I'm going to jump off to there you go. So let's create a new product. Let's also create something in the lines of what we just talked about. For example, a mug from Printify. Right, so let's go with the accent mugs. Right, depending on, this is a print admin provider, and we're going to have just one size, 3 colors, okay? And there's only one print area, of course, because it's a wraparound. But when I click next here to start selecting my designs, I will get this message. So it's important to read this. So choose the design for the front left side. So maybe I want to pick from my designs and see what we have. We have a lot of designs here. So maybe we want to go with, let's see, we have something with the quotes. Okay, that's great. Motivational quotes, right? Let's go with this. And the second design for the right, I think it was a Father's Day. So we're going to look for something here in the Customily designs, maybe something related to that. And looking for that with kids. Okay, this one, okay? And now we have this, and then we also have the quotes for the verse that. That's just crafting something. When you are ready to create a product, this is what you're going to get, because you're going to have multiple stores in your account. Now you're going to have a Shopify, you're going to have an Etsy, you're going to have a WooCommerce, and you're going to have an Amazon. So you can actually create this. I'm going for the 2.0 Customily, that's it. So now Customily is creating a new listing on that particular store, is creating the template, and basically what it's doing is grabbing the print file, right, and putting on each print area the different designs I selected. It's going to put that together on the print part of the template, the step 1, and the step 2 is going to do the same but on the mockup. So we're going to be able to see the well, we're going to see the mug in both sides, and this is the part in which you can try your product. Remember, these products are by default created as drafts, and you have the chance to publish them and make them active, or just keep them as drafts, right? So you can always test out in your front end. You can do some testing on different themes, of course. So there's always a chance for you to run Customily and try that on your products without the need to go live on that particular product, okay? But if you want to just double check how things are working, you get this upfront preview when you get to see on one side the quotes, and check out, we have these quotes and we have these backgrounds, okay? Oh, I like this one, be brave. I'm going to change. Okay, so let's go with this. And we are going to forward with number of kids, 2 kids. Now, this is the other side of the mug with the customity design. Father name, team. Maybe you don't see this, but because it's a wraparound, remember, you can always get inside this template now that it has been created and adjust things to resemble reality a bit more. So maybe if this is a bit smaller, just to show the edges, or maybe you want to throw things a bit to the left or to the right, that's entirely up to you. And it's only to create more realism. On the print side, everything is going to work perfectly well because it has been created following the POD standards. But sometimes the preview, depending on the mockup, it could happen like this. So if I were looking like this, I'm seeing this. So basically this exists, but it depends on the particular design, the particular proportions. This is something you can always edit and improve. So don't worry about this. It's always a chance for you to adjust this. So let's say we're going to keep this. I don't want to, let me see this live session test, right? So I know exactly what I'm creating. I leave breadcrumbs around along the way on the store, and then I'm going to save this as a draft. Oh, very important, because we pick different colors, we can actually see this change. This is very important when it comes to PODs, but also your own product bases can have this effect. These are variants, and they can change images as well. So keep it as a draft. All right, we're going here to save draft instead of publish. We are always thrown back to the product section here, where we can find the product and see exactly which template has been created for the product and the options for the different designs that we created. We have the options for the motivational quotes and the options for the daddy's team. They are together, so they look like one, right? But they work like this. If I am looking to edit this template, I just click here on the open template, and I can just edit this and modify any way I want. So remember, this product has only one print file and has 2 print areas. Okay, great. So this is the print part. We don't want to change anything about this, but in case you want to change it, remember this is all the structure you have that came from the designs. But this is exactly what, well, in this case, Printify is going to print. It's going to print the 215 by 97 millimeters right here. And it was composed of 2 different print areas, one to the middle and the other one to the other side. And you put the design in this. When you go to the next step, because right now we are on the print file settings, production file settings, when we click next, we go to the second step in which we are going to be able to see how customers see this, okay? Now, after this is finished and someone goes to your store and purchases this, I think there's a question related to that, customers will see this, the step 2, and you as a merchant will get the file that was created on the step 1, on the print settings. You will have both links, so you will be able to see what the customer was looking at on the screen and then at the same time what you got printed. They will always be the same, but it's important to make sure of that. If we want to adjust a bit of this hands, for example, we can look for these elements. All right. For example, the mask is the picture of the mugs with this effect. So we find this to be a bit more realistic. We're going to lock it because we don't want to touch this by accident. But I have the hands here. I have the one kid layout. This is a great example of a layout, right? This is the one kid layout option. This is the 2 kid, right? We have the 2 kids here. Then we have the title, that is team. They have the 3 kids, and then we have the 4 kids, and then the 5 kids as well. And in the end, we also have the hands, which hands are going to be changing according to the file you selected, right? So that's number 2. Wait, just give it a go. Number 2, okay, those are 3 kids and so on, right? So 4 kids, that's supposed the one I was looking on here, 4 kids. All right. So if I want to pick everything from this design, I can just go to the very last one of the elements and also go to the very first of the elements, which is the hands, and I can shrink this a bit. Like I said, this won't affect the print, but it's going to give a more realistic approach of what you're selling, just like this. Oh, my bad. Like this. Of course, if you feel that you need to actually adjust this on the print as well, you can do it, because sometimes designs will fill the entire area and maybe you want to keep some margins. It's always important to keep an eye on the print guides from the different print-on-demand providers. So we got this, okay? And we're ready to save this again. We are saving exclusively our template for our product. And look at this. You can see everything all together. This is just like a final revision. But I always like to point out that if I go to the father's name and I type, I don't know, I get to see this change on the print and on the preview at the same time. And that's how Customily can show the customer a mockup changing live and also printing exactly what the customer is looking at. This is the whole concept of Customily and the print file. I hope that answers that question. Let me save this and jump to the next. I'm about to sell posters canvas for printing purposes. On the print area, should we size the canvas and include extra margins or only the size of the design? That's very important, and we're going to show you right away. So in case of canvas, right? So let's create a new design. What I recommend always, we have been talking about this on multiple live sessions, is when you know you've figured out which is the provider you want to use and the product you want to use, I recommend going to the provider website and looking for the resources to find the print guides. Print guides are essential because, okay, so Customily can put any design onto any product, but is that design correctly proportionate to the product we're going to use? Are we designing something to landscape and trying to put it on a product that is portrait? In that case, Customily will try to fit everything together and things will go very small. It will never resize or deform your original design. So you need to keep that in mind. Creating a design is really fast and amazing with Customily, but it all depends on the product you're going to be using. In the case of ornaments or acrylics, there's sometimes bleed, there's sometimes margins and safe areas that is important that you keep an eye on. But at the same time, you cannot design exclusively for that area because the print-on-demand providers will always need the whole file. And let me show you with a new design. I'm going to create this design just so I can give you a quick tip on the kind of information you need. Most providers will have print guides. If not, you can request those print guides, I'm pretty sure, because no product prints the same as any other. Especially when it comes to all over prints and stuff like that, it's important to know exactly how this product will perform. And Customily will put the designs exactly as the print files need to be on each print-on-demand provider. So for example, let's say I download a print guide for a canvas. The best way to do it is to upload to Customily as a guide image. For that, I use dynamic images. Why? Because dynamic images are the objects we use to upload our own images. Remember that placeholders are those that shoppers upload their own pictures in the front end. But dynamic images are for us and our artwork. So I'm going to click on upload images, and I'm going to find a queue and a guide. And I have a guide in here, like this one. This is a print guide. This print guide comes from CustomCut and is a patch, right? Okay, I was looking for a Canvas. I think Canvas will have another provider, but this is going to be a HUD patch. Great. Now the thing is, this art dimensions 99 by 73 is actually the entire file you see in red. That's why it says there in the explanation that the gray area is the bleed, and to ensure that you don't want any background color to be printed, the design must extend to the red edges. So if you're printing a background, you don't want to have the background on the safe area. You want the background to be everywhere up to the red line, because you need that to bleed out. Otherwise, it's going to be cut off when it comes here, because the printing will go all the way to the bleed. Every single provider will tell you exactly up until which point they will be printing, in this case, the red line. But at the same time, they will show you which part is going to be cut off or folded. So in this case, there's going to be a margin, right, which is going to be the stitching, is going to be printed also there, but the safe area in which your main design is going to be located should be the one in white. So if I go here and I resize this to 99 by 73, I can actually, oh, there you go. I can actually fit to the canvas, and it's going to fit perfectly there. Okay, that's the important thing about this, is that it's going to be on the right proportion. Now, whatever I put together later, like text boxes or cover text boxes or even a map, this should be ready to go and printable within the safe area. Now, if you want this to have no margins, maybe you want this to extend beyond. This could be an option, right? So basically, this map will print to the bleed also and will be cut out over this. Okay, that would be one example. Maybe I can show you this to be more precise with a quick template. But don't worry, this is just for let me quickly show you with a template. Well, because we can control the opacity on the second step, so I want you to see just what it will be when it comes to printing. Okay, so 99 by 73. Create page. So I'm going to put this image here, exactly the same thing we did, but I want you to see what happens, what will be considered when you're printing this. So it's going to be a map, exactly the same size. Okay, just like that. Next. So let's say I create this. What will happen is that, oh, I want to keep it. No worries. What will happen is this. My map is going to print like this, but when the manufacturer goes to the cutting part, is going to trim up everything that is darker, and the print is going to be only the white and margin area. That's basically what you need to know about this. Then you can decide how to put together your design. But it's very important that this print guide is there, for example, as hidden object. Okay, so you use it for positioning and formatting, and then you don't delete it. You keep it hidden, but you keep it, because it's the best way for you to double check what went wrong if something was wrong, or just to make sure that whatever object you created will be on the exact position to be placed there. But the criteria that our software uses is everything will, every design will be fitted to the full print indication of the provider. So the full print includes the red margin because it includes the bleed. That's something you need to know when coming to Canvas. Canvas will have, depending on the frame, Canvas will have a very small bleed or very small margin. folded or gallery canvas will have a bigger margin because it actually prints on the margin and then folds inside the frame, so around the frame. Okay, so keeping an eye on that, every single POD will tell you what kind of sizes they need and what margins you should consider. Okay, next question. I'd like to know the difference between placeholders and dynamic elements in the design step, please. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, I think we already did that by creating this dynamic image and the placeholder. Just a quick tip, just in case you, a couple of reminders in case we get confused. Reminder number one, the first reminder is a graphic reminder, something you need to see with your own eyes, is the icon. Oh, what is this taking a bit of time? Okay, so the icon for dynamic images is for small images, meaning that you can upload as many objects as you want. This is usually, this is for choice options, okay? Meaning that if you upload 10 images, you can have your customer select 10 images. On the other side, image placeholders will have one single picture, meaning that your customers can upload one at a time. Another important reminder of which one does which. When you grab one of the placeholders, this button says try with an image. Try, meaning that whatever you upload here is just for testing purposes and it will not stay. On the other hand, dynamic images have two buttons, one to definitely upload the images or pick an image library from your collection. Those are the two reminders that you need to keep an eye on if you get confused somehow. Okay, so how can we modify the CSS and HTML of the product page? That's a great question. To be honest, you need to do it on your side. You need to do it on the back end of your platform. But some things can be done in Customily. If you go to the Start section, or it could also be on the Store section as well, basically, right? This Store section will give you these 4 headers here, right? We can navigate to the home page, which is this, and review your products, review the option sets, or go to settings. In the settings area, there's a lot of tabs that will help you adjust the preview behavior, whether your preview goes to the product page or does pop-ups a modal, for example, how the buttons will show, which buttons will show, how the zoom will perform, and how the image can be manipulated. And then we have styles to shape up the buttons, the swatches, and everything. Advanced settings refer to sharing and saving personalization, adjusting the order information. Integrations is a well-known section in which you're going to put all your PODs. And finally, developer settings. I was getting into this. Developer settings have 2 big boxes. One is custom CSS and the other is custom JavaScript. In here, you can actually put whatever code you want Customily to interact with without affecting your or modifying your theme code, okay? It requires knowledge to target certain things about Customily, but basically what customers have done with this is modify the fonts, the sizes, modify the fonts of the labels, modify the shapes and sizes of the text inputs, for example, or the drop-down looks. Then when it comes to JavaScript, one thing they have done is they have been able to connect to swatches to make sure the swatches look different, like the color swatches can be put together like a color table, right? Or color, yeah, like a like a showcasing of colors without any margin. Another thing they do with JavaScript is that they add some small check boxes. So whenever you pick something, it checks up. It has a border, but also checks. Or sometimes it pop ups like a zoom of the thumbnail. Those are things you can do with custom JavaScript. And a lot of things like doesn't come to mind right now, but this is the section you want to go when you want to modify those things. Everything else can be done on your platform, but some things you can put them in here to interact directly with the Customily elements, like the labels, like the swatches, the drop downs, the text inputs boxes, even the preview and how it is positioned within the gallery and the thumbnails. Everything can be adjusted in there. Does the preview affect the final printing? No, actually it doesn't. We saw that before on the template example. We can resize the design elements to fit the preview. We can even skew slightly the preview if we have like a perspective-weighted image of the mockup, right? But the print is always the print. It's just something you can always check there. We can look for a interesting product to check it out, just so you can see the difference. A great example, I usually like to use this example because let me see if I can show you this one. This is pretty interesting. For example, cards or greeting cards or postcards. Maybe you want to print that, so it's going to show like a brochure or like an open brochure, right? But when it comes to the preview, you want to show that in a more realistic way. Okay, so that is there's a good example. Okay, so I'm going to show you really quickly. Okay, so we have this design. This is going to be a single text, right? So it's printing like this. But we're going to showcase this on a towel, and this has this effect, okay? So ideally, this is basically the text right there. So we can call this, I don't know, yeah, just like that. And at the same time, let's say, okay, let's say this mockup will be slightly tilted somehow. So we have this in the transform area here. We have skew tools. Skew tools can also be quickly accessed by clicking on these grips on the center with the control being held. So right now, for example, the grip goes with arrows that go left and right, but if I hold the control key, this will go up and down. See how they change it, because I'm not changing this left and right, I'm changing this up and down, just like that. So if I wanted to offer like a small effect like this, because this is the way this picture is showing, yeah, I just skew it this entirely. But when I go to save this template, the text is unchanged on the production file, and this is tilted on the preview, because we want to offer more realism. The same way as sometimes we offer textures on the preview, just to add the effect of the embossing on the or the engraving or the embroidery, right? So I'm going to just click on text. I'm going to type. Okay, so we have a limitation there. Okay, right. So this is going to print exactly as we need it, and it's going to showcase the best way for the print for the preview that you have, right? And they are completely independent. The only thing they share is the content. That's the great thing about this. Okay, Jimmy, yes, okay, so if we add textures or mask or position changes, they won't impact on the printing. That's correct. That's what we did with the mug, right? The mug had this mask with transparency, so we see the design, but at the same time we see a design with some shadowing or some wrinkles and stuff like that. Okay, well, this went super fast. So, and we are out of time, and these have been amazing questions. But this is not the end of this, okay? So any question you still have, please remember, we have a lot of support channels. You can contact us. You can write to support@customily.com. You can open a live chat in the app. You can also join our Facebook communities to get answers from other users, okay? And always keep in touch with us. We are always going to reach out to you to see how things went out. If you have any other questions left, we always answer things on the Facebook communities as well, so you can reach us anywhere you want. This never stops, and there's a lot of things we want to show you, and we don't have enough time to show you. We have a lot of ideas. We're going to get into the posters world. Okay, we're going to check out with the hangers or with the frames and with the gallery wraps, everything. So it's going to be all about posters, and also how to get the best previews, how to get the best ideas, how to match, put multiple sizes at the same time. So that's all next week. And well, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us in this very special live session. This was very amazing. You had great questions. I'm really happy that you explore, that you share, and that you bring with ideas. And we sincerely hope with the rest of the team that these answers today will trigger more ideas and more creativity. So until next week, have a great day.